Hello, my little nerds and nerdettes. Please join us for another episode of
Hell yeah.
Krawlers.
Yeah. What's up? Oh, that might help. Ah.
Our DM is secretly a cam girl.
Show us them mouth bones.
What?
Teeth. It's your teeth.
Um,
Teeth are just mouth bones.
we leave off with the group making their way around Molten Hammer. You guys have been kind of getting things solved, getting things back together for the beans, realizing that they don't have any ore. Their suppliers pretty much got all cut off, and their mine closed up due to unforeseen reasons. Nothing that was really explained to them other than maybe some creatures got into the mine and are now kind of inhabiting it. You guys made your way to Vivek's Blade to get an adventuring license after learning that there was a couple of ways you could get into the mine, and realistically the only way would be to apply to take these tests, and taking these tests would get you a license of sorts to be able to explore and adventure. Due to some quick thinking and some coin jangling, you were able to procure some licenses fairly fast. Doing so, you leave only to discover that the rest of the party kind of sitting down there is waiting for you to go procure a couple more items, and you guys kind of ran into Bobo, who seemed to be out gambling and having a good old time. So,
This
we
party
leave
doesn't
off.
appreciate Bobo yet.
Not yet. Maybe not ever. Never know. But you guys find yourself sitting out in front of Vivek's Blade. Sophia, Evelyn, and Patience. You guys had kind of excuse me. You guys had
Plus,
just got your licenses, and you guys were coming down the stairs to meet the rest of the party. Axel and Axel KB and Nova, you guys were kind of hanging out in the front there, trying to figure out what you guys wanted to do. I know last we had talked, Axel, you were trying to get some ingredients to cool or preserve, and you were kind of looking for the Duster's Run that was kind of down a side alleyway. You guys had also ran into the Tinker's workshop.
Yes, I think we were looking down the alleyway for the Duster's Run.
hmm So that's where we leave off. So
Well, we managed to secure some silver adventuring coins, proving we're members of the silver level. I don't quite understand how the levels work, but fortunately we our friend was able to upgrade these bronze ones, and I'll take out a bronze one and upgrade it to silver. They get you into different levels of the mines. I'm kind of worried the bronze one won't work, and we only have 3 of these silver ones.
Yeah, we had to slip the officiator of the test a little bit of coin to shut up about it.
Well, don't worry about him. He's never going to have to work there again. He hated his job. Can't blame
Yeah,
him.
but I'm just saying.
Imagine having to sit behind that desk and offer wannabe scrubs this stupid test every day.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is getting these wasn't cheap.
Oh, and that guy claimed to be a gold adventurer. He hadn't seen shit.
Oh, of course not. He was a chump. You can tell.
So how far will the bronze coins get us?
He didn't know. He didn't know much of anything, to be honest. I
Yeah,
want to say that the The greater level gets you greater levels in the mine? I didn't want to take my chance with the bronze one. I figured the closest one off for a reason. And while Mr. Bean made it sound like this was the most dangerous one there was, honestly, I don't know.
We only have to go to number 5, right? So maybe the bronze will get us there.
He made it seem like there was a lot more than that. And so maybe bronze is enough. I was also thinking that maybe, Axel, do you think you could replicate these, or do you think Mr. Bean could? Now that we know what they look like?
And I'll hand you my silver one. Or at least I'll reach my hand out with it.
Yeah, he'll take a look at it for a few seconds and say, yeah, I think I can do that.
Sophia will kind of shrug.
That would certainly be useful if we could make our own. Temporary adventuring licenses. What a hoax. You need a license to go and potentially kill yourself.
And Vivek's played thinking they know well enough whether adventurers can handle something or not. The whole thing was a joke.
Yeah, it seems like a scam if I've ever seen one. And I know scams.
Sophia will kind of nod her head in agreement.
Well, we were just gonna go pop into a shop really quick before we headed back to the beans. Looks like there might be one down this alleyway here.
Ah, there's an old herb shop.
Oh, perfect.
And,
1 minute.
honestly, it's kind of hard to breathe in there. I don't know how they stay there all day.
Well, if you want to come with, you can.
I'm still right here.
Yes, because she's already been in there and she's been, shysted stuff. I'll nod at Axel then and walk towards the Duster's Run in the alleyway.
It's the alchemy shop, right?
Yeah.
I still want it on that.
Our DM gone, so I'll fill in for now. You make your way down the alley, and there's like a huge chest, and it has like 50,000 gold in it that you can have.
Oh, hell yes! Bonus change.
Yeah.
That's great. That chest was.
Open it up. Open it up.
No.
Go ahead.
No.
Yeah,
Nope.
it's sitting right there. The chest is open. There's actually like jewels and like gold falling out of all sides. Go ahead. Grab it.
No.
Do you reach for it?
No.
You don't reach for it?
Why are you gonna give me so much anxiety over money?
I'm not. Grab it.
You grin on your face.
Sophia?
Don't even.
Anybody?
I mean, first
Alright.
I'd like to detect, dispel magic, detect good evil. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
Just cast everything at
there's
it.
no
We're
there's
rich
no
guys.
magic. No magic at all. You don't detect any magic
It's
from
an
the
instant
chest.
death. Don't do
It's
it.
not evil. There's no magic. There's no curses. There's nothing. There's no writing. Nah, we don't want to go near that shit.
I don't trust it. I don't
please
trust it.
suspicious.
Touch it.
I don't
touch it.
trust it.
Sophia, you want to touch it? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just,
Nah, I'm staying back out in the open. I'm not going
Okay.
with him to
Nova?
Duster's Run.
No, okay.
No. I started walking towards the Duster's Run.
Towards the chest?
With with Axel, and I
Okay.
think Evelyn was also going to join us, and anybody
Okay.
else that wants to.
Sounds good. You make your way down the alley to find kind of that, the giant building with all the lights and the spotlights and everything that's kind of going on. The alley's a little less lit. You notice kind of this like hovel shack looking building that's built off the side of Vivek's Blade with sage hanging from the doors. You notice like potted plants outside. It's an older style building. Like moss seems to be growing on the brick or shale or whatever they used to build this building.
If I locate plants on the weird plant I have with me, is there any nearby?
Weird, which one? Like the one that you're finding in food, or the other one?
We took it out of a bag of flour.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the one in the food.
Yeah. Couple things. What's the radius again?
Wasn't it the closest one within like?
Okay, so it's just one.
It says closest within 5 miles.
Closest within 5 miles. Okay. 30 feet to your left.
Yeah, don't drink the water here.
No. You see some guy just kind of like leaning up against the wall, and he seems to be eating like a piece of bread.
It's all contaminated. Nature's taking over. She's expanding. Shoot her!
Good thing we had breakfast.
Good thing for purify food and water.
Clever girl.
Clever girl.
The molten hammer bread sits different.
Eh?
So yeah, I mean we're heading to Duster's Run. Walking inside.
Okay. Kind of like how I explained it for Sophia and Patience. You walk in, and immediately you walk through this like hanging moss vines doorway type deal to find like an older style door that you open, and as you step forward, you're greeted with like lush, thick green grass for a floor, and the walls are I love this music, by the way. This is like brings me back to Skyrim every damn time.
Oh yeah.
I've played that game through way too many times on VR, on regular playthrough. The walls are covered in like hanging plants, flowers, vines. These plants that seem to be like opening up, and you see them every once in a while like clamp down and like move around a little bit. Yeah. It's low lit, not unlit, but it's like, you know, medium light.
If I recall, I believe Axel said he needed something in here. So I'm just kind of glancing around.
Yeah, I'll approach the counter.
Okay. Nobody at the counter.
Is there a bell I can ring or something?
Yeah, there looks to be like a little like one of those little dingers like off to your right.
Yeah, I'll ring it.
Okay. Ding 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 ding. Kind of look around. Ding 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 ding. Nothing.
Seeing Axel ringing the bell and nobody approach, I'll kind of... Is there like a door to a back room or something?
Yeah.
Is it open?
No.
I'm gonna walk up and knock on it.
Do you go on the right-hand side of the counter or the left-hand side?
Well, I don't want to like go somewhere I'm not supposed to and then be seen there. So I'm gonna... I don't want to necessarily go behind the counter, but...
It's kind of like counter, and then the door is on the right-hand side, and regardless, like the left-hand side of the counter kind of goes back behind the counter and like a bunch of other stuff, and then the right-hand side of the counter goes like to a little crevice, and then there's like a door right here.
Okay, I'll go back by that one.
On the right-hand side?
Yeah, and knock on it.
As you walk around the right-hand side of the counter, you roll a straight dex, just straight dex.
Oh, always.
Do, 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 do.
Waiting for it to register.
Fruit dice. Mm-hmm.
Fuck it, I'll just roll it in here. You said Dex?
Okay.
Didn't add my modifier.
You go to walk
which is
around the
0.
corner.
Never mind, there's no modifier.
You go to walk around the corner, and you immediately kick like a large lump on the ground, and biff it going like around the corner. And you kind of do one of those where you try to catch the corner of the counter, and you end up stumbling even harder. And you just hear this as you hit the ground behind the counter and like knock a couple things over. Oi, hello, can I help you? Ouch, my ribs.
Yeah, as I fall, I'll go, oof. And I'll kind of look back at him. What are you doing laying
What
in the
you
floor?
see, what you see is this individual wrapped up with this blanket up over the top of the head, and he's just staring at you like, hello, can I help you?
Why are you sleeping there?
Because I live here.
Well, can't you sleep not in the middle of a walkway?
I am not in the middle of a walkway. I am behind the counter. Oh,
Yeah, but it's also a walkway.
well, I do own the building. So,
Anyway, we need some help. Are you open?
well, I need some help. You injured me. I am hurting. Oh.
I'm
Oh.
gonna kind of grumble and get up.
One moment. He stands up and you watch him walk up to the wall. Ah, yes. Mass of peat grass. Flower poultice of dragonfly. And he flicks the plant that was kind of like opening and closing its mouth. He flicks it and you watch as like little bead droplet of like dew or sweat comes off the side. And bit of fighting flower. And he walks over to the counter and you watch him start mixing some things together. So, hello, how can I help you? You are in my office and I was taking a nap. And you hurt me. Do you need something or did you just come in here to kick me?
I'm gonna point at Axel so that his attention is drawn towards Axel.
Okay. Him?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hello, can I help you?
Grim look like yeah, I need a
don't
medium.
speak that language.
I'm aware. I need a medium-sized pouch of salt.
I have that. You see him like rub this like grimy, like creamy green liquid, and he like rubs it on his side. Oh, that feels so good. Oh, it gives off the smell of kind of like a low key icy hot.
I was just gonna ask. That's what I was envisioning.
And you watch him take like a piece of cloth and he rips it into a square and sets it on the top of it. Oh, okay, much better. Okay, one moment. And he goes into the back, and you hear rummaging, and where is? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay, no, ain't good. It's fine. No. Okay, one moment. Okay, half. And you see the head peep out the door. How much did you say again?
A medium-sized pouch.
Medium-sized pouch. Okay. Do you have medium-sized pouch? No?
No.
Oh. Mm. Mm. Ah. Ah. Mm. Whoops. Alright. I gotta get my spell components calculator up. Alright. Excuse me. He comes back like a moment later, and he's holding a bag, and he hands it over to you, Axel. That will be 5 gold. Nope. Wait. Wrong ingredients. My part. That will be 1 gold, 30 silver.
I also need some alcohol.
Hey, don't drink much?
Not the drinking kind, the medical kind.
Ow.
The strongest stuff that you have.
Isopropyl.
Hmm. One moment. Leaves. Comes back a little bit later. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Is it explosive?
Okay. 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 That will be 3 gold. Okay.
Okay. I will give him 4 gold and 30 silver.
Okay. Be really gentle with that. It eats through everything. Everything.
It's not ammonia or acid.
It's
Are-
everything.
Are you sure this is alcohol?
Yeah, a form of alcohol. A form. A form.
Does it work as a preservation agent?
Eh.
You did say it eats through everything. That doesn't sound like it preserves very well.
I did not know you need preserve. No, that. This will make it go bye bye. Like
No, I need something to preserve some small organs.
one moment. He leaves and comes back later, and you kind of turn the bottle, and she's got like the skull and crossbones on it. Okay. Comes back with a bottle about, I would say, like the size of like a small bottle of shampoo. Here you go. I use this
Perfect.
on the flowers. It preserves lots of things. It's not quite alcohol, but it will do the same effect.
Mhm.
Same price for that. No big deal.
All right, I will give him 4 gold and 30 silver.
Okay. And you don't want that?
No,
Do you want that? I give it to you a special offer. 50 silver, one gold. I don't
no,
want
where I'm going, explosions are
Oh,
less than.
it won't explode. It will sizzle and you will lose things.
Yeah, but if it accidentally opens in its pack, it's gonna destroy everything.
Just be very careful.
No,
I
think
don't want it.
Fuck.
he wants to give. He can't give that thing away for free.
Okay. Anything else I help you with?
Yeah, actually. Could you do anything with land shark eggs?
Land shark eggs.
My bad. That's what I call them. Bullets and basilisks.
Mm. I'm having a brain fart. Not the yolk.
The shell.
Yes. The shell, no, not the shell. Dang it, the inner
The
parts of the
white?
shell, the
albumin?
membrane. The membrane, you actually makes quite a pulses, for healing factors. Yes, I will buy bullet eggs, or what would you have? Bullet eggs?
No, but I think I might be able to get some.
I will pay 5 gold an egg.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Fully preserved.
Yeah,
And we
I
have
think
it.
I can do that.
I would buy those of you. bring whatever else back here that you may or may not want, and I could possibly buy it off you.
I look forward to it.
Yes, especially plants of natures or healing properties. But anything we buy lots of weird things here. But I like that. So, we see you soon.
Have a good day.
You too. You sure? Don't want bottle?
I'm sure.
No? Okay. Hey, fuck.
I'm gonna laugh and I'm
Oh.
gonna wave at him and walk out with him.
Hi. Bye.
Yeah, I'll exit as well.
Okay. Do you want anything in here, pretty lady? He's staring
No.
at Evelyn. No? Okay.
Are these imported?
Some? Yes.
These. Specifically, the ones that I located.
Oh,
Point to
you
them.
like, you point out the little ones?
Yeah.
I don't know what those are. Where did you get those? It is not my plants.
It's in your store.
Well, when you find, like, when you locate it, it's sitting in like it's in like bits of his food.
Ew.
Yeah, like you see like a half-eaten muffin on the counter, and like just on the side of it, you see like a little bit of the, like the end of a root.
Well, then retcon that. I'll show him the one that I have and
Okay.
ask him if he knows what it is.
May I? He takes it, and twirls it in his finger. Oh.
Don't taste it.
Not poisonous.
A little late for that.
Tongue not tingling. No side effects. Do not feel euphoria or high. Am not seeing things. Is appropriate for consumption. What do you get? This looks like some form of plant. And he like lets go of the top, and he's like holding it by the leaf and kind of the stem. If you look really closely, come. And he flicks down his eyeglasses and he hands you like a little magnifying glass. Look at its little feet. And he like zooms in and he shows you, and you see like the feet, like it's like just kind of barely moving.
On
Every
the
so
roots,
often.
the little tendrils on the roots.
Yeah, they seem like they're like looking out for something.
That's not concerning to you?
It is moving.
It
Why
is.
it moving?
I was hoping you knew.
I don't.
It's moving.
It's moving. I don't like it. It moves. Please take.
I'll take it back.
Where do you find that? That is concerning.
On the street?
Gross.
Gross.
I will keep my eye out for this, and you let me know if you find any more. You find it on the ground in the street, I will look on the ground in the street, and we will see if I can't raise it and figure out why it goes squeaky towards us. It's weird. Yes,
You're the
very
best.
weird. I thank you. You have a very nice day. Do you want bottle? I give it to you for 25 silver.
I don't have 25 silver. I'm just gonna go with them.
Have a nice day.
His smile fell. He really wanted to get rid of that bottle. He went
As
from
you're-
1 gold, 50 silver to 25 silver. Please take
Uh,
bottle.
As you're leaving, all you hear is, "Oh, I don't want to do this again. I almost spilled it last time." Okay, here we go. Fuck. And you are back into the main alleyway, free to do whatever it is you want to do.
I think the next plan of action after walking out of the alleyway and meeting back up with the group, if they are still there, was to head back to the Beans to meet up with Harold and Sarah so that we could head home, or just head home. I don't know, whatever.
Okay. Anybody
Unless
else?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Why
unless
does
anybody wants
plant have feet?
Well,
It's
these
probably the
do.
whole commentary you're getting.
Oh, Evelyn said that? Why do these plants have feet?
She's probably going on about plants and feet to herself.
I'm gonna kind of raise an eyebrow in your direction. What's this about plants with feet?
Would she have the plant out twirling it?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I never noticed the feet.
I'm gonna get close to look at the plant she's so enamored with. It has feet? Where?
Do you know much about plants?
I know a fair bit. I imagine I probably don't recognize this plant in any way, Ginge.
Mm-mm. Other than like obviously what she's shown you before, like what
Yeah.
you've kind of seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think from before even. Yeah, I'm just gonna peek at it. Yeah, but I've never seen a plant like that. But it doesn't look
No.
like it has feet.
Can't even buy shoes for those feet.
Maybe fairy shoes? There must be really, really small feet. I can't see them.
I'm gonna put it away.
I'm gonna shrug and begin walking in the direction of the Beans.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So we will retcon a little bit here, and we will move it forward as you guys make your way out the main alleyway, passing all the food stalls. Vivek's Blade, which seems to be just incredibly vibrant right now. People are coming and going, buying things. You watching people walk out. Axel, you get like kind of that annoyed as you're watching people walk in, and like these other people are like walking out the other other side doors, and they're wearing these full suits of armor and weapons, and they're like, yeah, swinging things, and you just from a distance you can tell, what they have is garbage. And it's probably gonna fall apart the moment they swing it the very first time at anything that's worth a damn. And you guys make your way back down the street. It's getting to be like late dusk at this point. The nightlife is kind of picking up. People are coming out. People are God, I freaking ladybugs. Uh, you watch people kind of come out into the streets. You watch like street performers are coming out, whether it be juggling. You see some fire breathing going on. The city's kind of getting back to a little bit of a norm compared to the couple days prior when everything kind of went down. After 35 minutes walking through crowds, you do make your way back to the area where the Beans workshop is. You do see a couple lights on. And yeah.
I remember Sarah had already left. So
Yep.
I'm gonna go inside and find Harold.
Okay.
Is he being noisy in the back of his shop again?
He seems to be kind of putting things away for the day.
Oh,
You
perfect.
see him in the front. He's kind of cleaning up a little bit. He's putting some things away, putting out some of the candlelight, closing up. He's pretty much just like closing up shop.
Harold. Sarah wanted us to make sure that you didn't stay too late, and I think we were heading back.
Oh no, I'm getting ready to leave right now. I think I've had my fill for the day. A little too much excitement has got me very tired.
Fair. A lot happening today. Getting everything back up and running.
You are not wrong. It makes me very excited. But I think it's time to call it a day and go home and have a drink and eat something good.
All right. Well, we're waiting outside whenever you're ready.
Oh, well, let me just button up here. And he starts throwing a couple things in the back and slides it off the counter and shoves it in the backpack. You see him put out a couple more of the candles. As he throws the pack onto his back and kind of like steps out to the front door, holds the door open for whoever else is inside that wants to walk out, and closes the door behind him and sticks the big key in the front door and locks everything up.
Harold
Okay.
is a 7th party member at this point.
Fair enough. Oh, okay. Let's go.
I will follow.
Okay, sounds good. And he starts taking off towards the lift. You guys head back out in the street. Anybody want to do anything? Nope. Sounds good. You guys head out towards the main street. Take a right, and you guys kind of this time he doesn't want to walk wearing the big pack, so you guys do wait for the tram. Mark off 1 silver each. You guys take the tram all the way around to the elevator that takes you down to the 2nd floor. And then from the 2nd floor, you guys exit. Whereas now you notice the lights kind of being put out. And the kind of beauty of the second ring. You see a bunch of almost like lanterns that seem to be hanging. Like somehow they got these big lanterns to descend from the ceiling that you didn't notice before. That at night light up and it almost looks like stars.
Oh, I remember this from before.
So you guys come down, you guys exit, and you guys begin making your way towards the beans. About halfway there, you notice Sarah kind of coming from the opposite direction. She looks to be coming from the library. She kind of meets up with you, waves her hand. They meets up with Harold and gives him kind of a kiss. They kind of get shoulder to shoulder, and you hear them talking about things that are happening. Getting new deeds, getting new contract work, getting new workers for delivery runs, getting hopefully getting the mine reopened, getting new routes, new all the things that need to happen to make this work. About 5-ish minutes later, you guys arrive at the front door to the beans. They kind of open things up and open the doors. They walk inside and put all their packs down, and Sarah drops a bag full of what looks to be some kind of groceries and begins to whip up some kind of supper.
I will go into the kitchen and assist Sarah in cooking.
Okay. She seems to be doing like a prime rib type deal. So
I'll help her prep sides while she does that.
Ribs and yep.
Cut up some like green beans or whatever.
Some potatoes and some beans and some carrots.
I'll roll a performance check. Because that sounds
Roll a
fun.
cooking. Do it. We'll call that your cooking. Let's see
Fuzzy
it.
dice. Oh! 7.
Yep. Sarah is definitely stopping you every once in a while to go, no. Like this. And she's showing you what needs to be done.
I'll probably be like nervously laughing. I don't think. Okay, I've maybe cooked a couple times, but I really never
No.
cooked.
It's don't hold the knife like this, like you're gonna stab. Gentle. Yeah, okay, just cut. No, not like this. Gentle.
Massacring the green beans. I'll kind of
Okay.
I'll eat these ones since I've written them.
Oh no, it's fine. We'll put that on the bottom of the pot. Several moments pass, and Harold lights the fireplace, sits back, and takes out this he pulls out this long wooden box, and sits back and begins to puff on this elongated, almost Gandalf-looking pipe. And you guys are just relaxing right now as supper is being made. What are you? Anybody doing anything in the meantime?
Examining my plant for feet.
For feet? I wouldn't say feet, but it definitely, like, it almost looks like the feet on Bellsprout. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it just
Can
kind of goes.
Can I put it on a? Can I grab a green bean and put the plant on the bean and see what it does?
Yeah. Are you just like holding it up and you're just like shoving it together, or what are you doing?
Yes,
Oh,
I want
time
to see if
out.
it latches.
Time out. So
Okay.
if Evelyn comes into the kitchen and starts putting her foot plant on the green beans, I'm gonna.
One bean. I want to take a bean.
Okay, I was gonna say
Two,
you're gonna take
one bean.
I'm
No,
gonna
no,
be
no,
really
no.
confused.
So we're gonna have a little fun with this. Okay, Evelyn, you're gonna go into the kitchen and get a green bean.
Yes.
So I have the green beans in front of me. So you're just gonna come up and grab one.
I want to ask for a green bean.
I'm gonna raise my eyebrow at you again. They're not cooked yet.
It's not for eating.
Then why do you want a green bean?
For the plant.
Are you feeding your plant a green bean? Isn't that like cannibalism? Shouldn't you name it first before you start feeding it?
She's just gonna look at you like. Probably already has a name. Maybe I need to speak with plants.
I'll shrug and just grab a green bean and hand to her.
Okay.
Just don't start talking to it, because that might be a little much.
I'm gonna have to meditate on this. I might need to switch some spells. Yeah, I want to put the plant and the bean together and see what it does.
Okay. So Evelyn goes back, sits like kind of off on her own, and she's just. Okay.
Gonna see if it grabs it or something.
Yeah.
Are you like holding it together for a long period of time, or are you just kind of mashing it together and seeing what it does?
I'm gonna hold it really, 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 really close to it.
Okay. Nothing right now. But anybody else?
Maybe
Well,
you like plants.
While Evelyn sits in the corner and mashes the plant into the green bean.
The peanut gallery's awfully quiet tonight.
So, you guys are just kind of hanging out, relaxing, and after 20 minutes or so, dinner is served as she cuts up the prime rib, and the veggies kind of simmered, steamed a little bit, lays them on the table, and I would say about 20 minutes goes by, Evelyn, and they start calling for supper to be ready, and you do notice, finally, like one of the feet, like you had set on it, it didn't look like it was doing anything at all. But ever so slightly, you go to pull it apart, and you notice like on the bottom of the feet, like the little hairs had grabbed hold of the green bean and were kind of just barely holding it.
Gross.
I'm just picturing a snail for some reason. I don't know.
A snail?
Yeah, you know, like when you like pick up a snail and it's kind of like.
Oh, and just like
it's
barely
slime.
holding on.
The slime tendrils that are just still
Yeah.
attached to what it's. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that.
I was just thinking like the way it kind of like tries to like grab at like whatever you're pulling at. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's just like it's like the little hairs that just seem to be like you're kind of like, oh. It was kind of holding on to it and looked like it was like embedding itself or something.
It's too much cold medicine.
That's always never a problem.
can I put the bean and the plant back wrapped up in the little pocket I had it in?
Yeah.
I'll see what it does later.
Okay.
Science.
Science. Supper is ready though, and supper is served for those of you that want supper.
Those
As
who don't
Mr.
speak
and-
don't eat.
As Mr. and Mrs. Bean sit down, serve you guys dinner, and begin to sit down themselves. So we have some really good news. I managed to get a couple of contractors procured. I got some routes and some ore coming in. The problem is the ore won't be here for at least 3 to 4 weeks. So in the meantime, we have to make do. But I was able to get us some leather shipments, and I was able to get, you know, a bunch of other stuff to kind of start it up again. It says very nice. That's great. That's great. Well, oh, I guess that all that leaves is, you know, to open the family mind back up, and we can go down that a little bit. But I guess for the time being, we'll make do. I'll buy some. I got some friends that owe me some favors. We'll do that. We'll do that.
A few of us managed to get adventuring licenses so that we can venture into the
Oh.
mines.
How did you do that so quick?
I'll look at Sophia.
He
You
paid
must
in
have-
blood.
Jill will just have like a kind of a smirk on her face and just kind of shrug.
Did you? You test high? Gold? Platinum?
I'll pull out my silver.
Silver? Even after you pass the test, it takes probably at least 2 weeks to get it. 3 weeks, month? You must have impressed them.
Our scores were impressive, I should say.
Well,
At least the ones that were put down, yeah.
look at you. I guess you guys are going in soon. So, do you... I shouldn't say it, but do you have experience with these kind of things?
Well, we
Yeah,
have
but-
experience with these kind of things, but we do have one problem. We only have 3 of these. And there's 6 of us.
That's...
How quickly could you make 3 more?
we can't.
Well, could certainly
turn-
make something that looks like it.
Turn it around.
I'll turn it around.
It's got like a special seal stamp on the backside, like about the size of a quarter. I don't have that piece.
Well, do you think bronze will be enough to get into your mine?
Probably not. I mean, maybe if you silvers vouched for him, but I don't know.
So let's say it was. Let's pretend that it is. And if not, we'll deal with that later. What is the what do we need to do there in order to get you back in business? Tell us more about what to expect there and what needs to be done.
Well, we were told that the mine got closed up due to a creature infestation. We were shut out we were told that it's the bullet breeding season, and that they had taken over our mine shaft, and that we had to leave it be for the year. And then, after that happened, we were told other things moved in, and the next thing we know, we were told it would be closed indefinitely until they could figure out what was down there and if they could get them to move on, or who knows.
I see. So we have to, if we could clear out the section that belongs to you of hazards, then it could reopen again for you.
Yep, we would be able to get back in and mine the mithril that we have down there and all the other ore, and we'd be back in business. They just need to be pushed further into the cave. There's about towards the back end of the cave, it drops off, and it becomes a large cavern, kind of opens up into the Underdark, and we haven't tapped into that section of our mine yet, but what we have now is more than enough for what we need. Maybe future, we'll put a mine shaft down into the Underdark, and we'll do things down there, but for the time being, we'll keep it where we got it.
Okay.
Is that something that you feel that you can do? If not, I can hire people. I would do it myself, but I've gotten on in my old age.
Yeah, I mean that's the type of thing we've have some experience with. Just need to figure out how to gain access for everyone.
Yeah, that will be a little bit tricky. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get in with silvers. They'll look at you a little weird, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to clear it. I don't know about bronze. And it looks like you only have one.
No, he gave 3 silvers.
He gave 3, but he gave 3 silvers, but he gave you 3 bronze, but he seemed to have taken 2 with him and left 1 for some whatever reason.
Oh. The detail I missed.
I'll look at Evelyn and be like,
You have ways of being small, and I can help get 1 or 2 more in. We'll be fine.
Oh?
I'll consider the mine ready to go.
That would be most generous of you. And we would be very grateful. Well, on that note, enjoy your meals, and we are going to go relax before our big day tomorrow, as we have to meet with a possible supplier of ore for us for the time being. And yes, Harold, that means you. You just watch Harold like go from like quietly keeping to his bowl to, oh, I hate meetings. They're boring. Oh, shut up. We're going tomorrow, and you're gonna like it, but I don't want to like it. Ah, fine.
Harold's the I want to
Fine.
get my hands dirty type, not sit and listen to people talk
Oh, let's go to bed.
One would almost think you're an old married couple the way you argue.
You have no idea what it's like to be married to the flesh render of the Sogmarsh. That's a title I left behind a long time ago. Shut up, and it's time for bed. We'll clean up tomorrow. Fine. But you're rubbing my back tonight, and I'm gonna go to sleep first. Just go up the stairs, please. She didn't say no. And you watch him like stand up and like prance out and up the stairs, and you kind of watch like he's just like walking up the stairs. She kind of peeks back down the stairs. Good night, and help yourself to whatever else you guys need here, and maybe we'll see you in the morning when we get up and leave. If not, we'll see you out, at least for the day. So, good night, all.
Good night.
And she walks up the stairs. as you guys are left alone in the living room. Fireplace kind of cackling a little, or like crackling a little bit. Cackling. A cackling fireplace. um, a crackling fireplace. You guys are left alone with the fireplace kind of going a little bit. The meal has all been eaten. And the evening / night is yours.
I'll lean in a little bit, lower my voice.
So I think only 3 of us can get in with these silver tokens. But
Right.
I think Evelyn can get in herself. Right? You can transform into small critters or whatever. I've seen you do that.
Yep.
And I can get 2 more of us in.
I can get myself in.
Yeah, we should be fine.
So we should be fine. We've snuck people in before.
Yeah, I
No
think
problem.
as long as they accept the silver, we can make the rest happen.
We should give it to the 3 that look the most like they'd actually be adventurers.
I'll kind of glance at Axel.
I'll hand mine to Axel.
You might not even have to waste your magical reserves. I'm potentially calling in a favor. I have to check the progress on it tomorrow.
Well, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I'll just have to wait and see if any progress has been made.
Sophia will kind of take the silver back and put it in her pocket for now.
Either way, I can't imagine it'll be too hard. I mean, they want the mine cleared, right?
Seems
From
that
what
way.
I gathered, we don't even have to kill whatever's down there. We just have to make it unable to access the main part of the shaft.
Yeah, drive it back.
Shaft.
Would I know anything about the Underdark?
Ginge.
Would I have read anything about it?
Roll for history.
History?
Because you have proficiency in it, right?
Yeah, I have +8.
Yeah, 'cause you're a little bookworm.
14.
Oh, wait.
14. You'll get the general gist of.
Can I add a D4 from guidance?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
18.
18. Okay. Yeah, you've read about the Underdark. Nothing crazy in your years of, jacking books and reading when you can read it. You know kind of what the Underdark is, what's down there. You get the the general gist that usually this stuff way, way, way down in there is not stuff to be messed with. Nor is it a place usually a whole lot of people like to go. So, yeah, get the general gist of it.
So I'm a little surprised that Mr. Bean would say he'd want to venture down there.
You also know that dwarves and gnomes and the mining type, they do go down there because there's a lot of ore down there that is, it's really, really, really rare. And usually when they do mine down that deep, they usually bring adventurers or something to clear out as they go. But it can get really expensive. So, not surprised. A little bit, but more like, they must have had money at one point. So, anybody else in the meantime?
What did my plant do?
Okay. I would say at this point, it's probably been like a solid 45 minutes. Yeah, roughly. You take it back out, and now that it's been wrapped together and kind of left to be on its own, one of the little feetsies has made its way under the outer, like the outer skin of the green bean.
Disgusting. Noted.
Okay. Evelyn just disgusting. Wraps it back up.
Just making notes.
Okay.
I find this entertaining. She's literally doing science.
Why not?
It's like an ant farm, but it's a plant.
She's investigating.
I don't think I'd be doing anything else. I'd probably just finish eating, listen in, and join where needed, like the talks about going into the mine and whatnot, but probably wouldn't be like overly talkative. Still avoiding patience.
Guys, what
Why
would you
is
name
she
your plant?
avoiding me?
Now,
Huh?
the avoiding wouldn't be out loud. It would just be more looking around the table at people talking. I probably wouldn't look at you.
I guess I'm not talking. So,
When you were talking,
fair enough.
when you were talking earlier.
And what did you say, Evelyn?
I asked what everyone would name their pet plant if they had one.
Did she say that out loud?
Yes.
Okay.
Nova said I should name it. I've never named a plant before.
I mean, she's
Hoppers.
feeding it, so she should name it.
Okay. Evelyn just pipes up asking the group this question. Randomly sitting off in the corner playing with her plant and the green bean.
Yeah, I think KB will look up from his meal immediately, having not said anything in a long time. Poppers.
What a name.
A good plant name.
Have you named a lot of plants?
No, never.
Interesting.
Just felt right.
I don't know, maybe
Sounds something.
maybe greeny.
It's a little
Doing
bit on the nose, don't you think?
Well, I mean, it's like name it what it is. It's green, greeny. I mean, you just call it plant.
I'd like to think I'm
Yes.
drawing a diagram of this plant, like poppers, underline it a few times.
It's like, oh yeah, that's a good one.
And I don't mean to, you know, you name your plants what you want. I feel like greeny is a little bit reductive.
I mean, it's a plant, KB.
Well,
It's not like
if you
you're
give
gonna
it a
hurt its
name,
feelings.
if you're gonna give it a name, name it.
What if he's not green when he grows up?
Well, he's not gonna be upset. He doesn't have feelings. It's not
Have
even
you
a
ever
he. It's an
spoken to
it.
plants?
It's a hit.
You,
It's an
you,
it.
Plants are intelligent beings with valuable information.
Yeah, I have to prove that.
you, you called it a he,
I did, and I took it back and called it an it because it didn't seem.
and you did it instinctively. You just knew.
I feel like you guys are twisting my mentality on this. I don't like it. It's a plant. gonna be like halfway thinking that KB was probably
feel like
offended that by
most-
me calling it Greenie because he's green.
I feel like most names I know, it's like they're not what you call them. I mean, look at Axel. He's not an Axel, and Patience isn't You get what I mean?
Yeah.
What? The
Like a
fuck are
it's
you
like-
talking about?
It's like
You're
a
not
large man
exactly-
and tiny.
You're not exactly patient.
If we named things accurately, he would be
fair.
grumpy.
Well,
Hey, I resemble that remark.
call your little sproutling tree. Or acorn.
Tree is not bad.
Poppers.
It
The plant.
It could be ironic, or it could be ambitious. Right?
Maybe it'll help it grow into a tree.
Yeah.
Because it wants to aspire to live up to its name. Wait,
If-
plants
if-
can't be
if you
aspired to
wanna-
live up to anything. They're plants.
They might, if you want to give it a human element to it, you could always call it willow. It's kind of planty, but also people could be named Willow.
Maybe I should ask the plant what it wants.
You can talk to it.
If I sleep for a bit.
Insight check on the plant.
Let's get a list. Then you can present the list to the plant, give it options. If it's never been understood the concept of a name before, it could be overwhelming. Make it multiple choice. Make it easier on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna shift gears into meditation mode here.
Mm-hmm.
I need to change some spells.
Halfway, like a little over halfway through the conversation, she just kind of turns around and just,
Well, I guess we got a pet plant. Maybe we should
There
call
are
it
worse
Motley.
things. See, I knew you'd get into the groove of this,
I feel like you twisted my arm. I had no choice.
but now you're here with us,
I'm gonna shrug. Kind of
naming plants.
kind of resigned. Accepting what's happened.
Now, another thing to think about is if you take a snippet of this plant, have it take root. It's almost like a child, so maybe it'll be good to have like a name that could be like a theme, that you could carry on to the next ones.
Like a surname?
Yeah.
And Axel gets up and walks outside.
I knew he wouldn't get it. I knew it.
I'm gonna linger for a few moments because as much as I don't like it, I'm also slightly entertained by the theme of this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, KB, you come up with a good surname for our new pet plant. Just in case it has children.
All right, I'll be thinking about it.
And I'll get up from the table and follow Axel outside.
Okay. Anybody? As Nova, or not Nova, Evelyn shifts into kind of a meditative state. She just kind of hangs behind. You watch Axel irritatedly stand up and shake his head and walk outside. Nova kind of following behind. Sophie and Patience, you guys just kind of linger back, sitting at the table. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd stay up and I'd probably rummage through the cabinets at some point for some extra food.
Okay, sounds good. Easily done. I mean, you do find like like a loaf of bread and like dried fruits.
I eat lots of the bread.
Okay. Just begin to fucking mow on the bread. Okay. It's a good sourdough. Very good.
Bread thief.
What?
I said bread thief.
Yeah, well, she already stole from him.
Shouldn't have left your bread unattended.
Yeah, I don't think this bread compares to what we stole earlier.
That's what I was alluding to. Nova, you follow Axel outside. Are you guys doing anything? Or are you just kind of stepping outside to take some air?
I'm going around to the side of the house where I usually go.
I'll be just following him. I wouldn't necessarily be seeing anything. I know why he left.
Okay.
Do this myself. Starts rummaging around.
Do what yourself?
Oh, I thought you were busy.
I mean, that's a ridiculous topic, but it was kind of funny. Couldn't help but stick around for a little bit.
Either way, I suppose you're ready to turn in?
Yeah.
Yeah, fishes out Outlaw's Respite. You have preferences for our accommodations?
Well, I know you set a certain gold limit, so it doesn't have to be fancy. Just I guess just a cozy room with a couple of beds in it.
Anything else? I can, as long as I think of it, I can put it in there.
I'll kind of like put my hand up to my chin and think for a moment. I don't suppose you can put windows in the room and have those windows project to anything, can you? Or are you not sure?
I think that's probably a little bit outside the scope of it.
Yeah, was a thought. Ooh, can you make it look like there is a tree growing out of the center of it? Almost like it's a tree house. Or am I really stretching the limits here?
It's not a lot of space to work with. Remember, it's only 15 by 15.
True.
It's about the size of a pretty regular master bedroom, I'd say.
I'm gonna shrug. I don't know. I got nothing.
I think I can do something a little to acclimate to what you're suggesting. I'll start to draw the opening or the doorway, and as I draw the doorway, Ginge, I will think of a nature themed bedroom with 2 beds.
Okay. Yeah, easily done.
Once it's open and the shadows coalesce into a foggy gateway, he'll sort of gesture to it and say, after you.
I'll walk inside.
Okay. Axel, you've been kind of to the edge of the Shattered Vale before, and you've seen that real thick kind of forest, kind of vibe of that nature, and so that's kind of what you go through, or for. As you walk through the door, the walls are kind of lined in a kind of like hanging vines type deal, I think a darker green, with a smaller tree that's in the center. It doesn't go like up like big treehouse style, but it's a small tree that kind of comes up to a peak. And underneath the tree, on both the left and the right side of the tree, are two, I would say probably like two queen-size beds.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have a smile on my face, kind of take in the room. Good job. This is good.
Glad my creativity didn't falter there.
Yeah, this is very cozy. I'll walk up to the bed on the left and put my pack down and just sit down on it.
Okay. Very comfy bed.
After I sit down, I'm gonna let out like a really long sigh and kind of bow my head. Well, we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so I figured.
But I don't really know how to talk about it. So I may just have to show you. It might be easier to show you.
Through another one of those dreamscapes, you call them.
Yeah. Just like what I did with you and Sophia. I mean, I can look into others' dreams, but I can also project my own memories. So that's the easiest way I know how, without having to try to explain something, to just, yeah, show you.
Fair enough.
But you'll have to be asleep for it.
So I assumed.
I'm gonna kind of fidget nervously as I sit on the bed. Well, whenever you want to go to sleep. Or whenever you're ready. We don't have to do it right away if you don't want to.
Moment. He sort of mutters to himself. Can wait for another time, I guess. Before speaking up. Yeah, let's better now than never.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to get it out of the way. It's gonna be kind of a lot. And I'm sure you'll have questions, so I'm ready when you are.
Well, I'm pretty sure what you'll see of me is more of the same, so nothing much else left to say. And I'll settle into bed and attempt to drift to sleep.
You won't have to do that, because as soon as you lay down, I'm gonna come up beside your bed and kneel down and bring my hand up
Bow
to
chicka
grasp.
bow wow. Oh, sorry.
Bring my hand up to grasp your wrist, and then I'm just gonna very softly utter the word sleep and cast sleep on him.
Does he fight it?
No.
If you could give me music to fit the mood.
Well, is that the work?
Yes.
So after Axel falls asleep, I'm going to cast Dream Fast. with the intention of seeding his dreaming mind with my memories.
As your consciousness fades out, Axel, and you find yourself just feeling that falling asleep, your body just relaxing in every way of the form before she utters sleep. And you are taken by just the shadows of sleep. Immediately, a almost vibrant and bright colors kind of assault your eyelids, and you find yourself opening your eyes. But you're not laying on the bed anymore. You find yourself standing. You find yourself standing in the middle of a grove. The grass, a vibrant, almost teal color, kind of shimmering and waving in all directions. Exuberant trees with giant, almost leaves about the size of your upper torso. Leaves you've never seen before, with these flowers that are vibrant reds and blues and purples. Tiny, almost like little puffballs, float through the air, casting these soft, dim yellow glows as it is a late dusk, maybe early night, where you are. Your skin crawls, almost with like an excitement. And you've felt this before, being around Nova, when she casts spells. You feel that kind of like that excitement, that tingle, that mana, like a mana overload. And you can kind of feel it on the tips of your fingers, your nose, your ears. Like you just feel it on your outer extremities. As you look to your left and to your right, just vast fields of these open, like fields and grass and almost hills. You look to your left to see a giant, like a medium-ish sized, like pool, crystal clear. The water kind of ripples from time to time, like an eerie stillness as you kind of take 2 or 3 steps towards it and you look at the water. And as you're looking towards the water, it casts a reflection, like a perfect reflection, almost like a mirror, and you see yourself staring back at yourself. And you see like a ripple in the pond. And as you look out further, a small island that sits a singular tree, kind of a smaller tree that arcs over and kind of hangs. That seems to be like a couple of little fruits that hang from this. And almost like a deer-ish type creature with these like super long legs that's folded up and just staring at you with these black blank eyes. You see the water ripple one more time. And the top of a head appears. You see these 2 elegant eyes and these elongated antlers and this cyan-colored hair that droops to both sides. And as the face comes up a little further above the water, just a big giant grin. It looks eerily familiar to Nova, with elongated features. These ears that stretch out into these long, almost doe-like ears, but longer. These 2 antlers that come up and out in elegant fashions that seem to have pieces of like floral and grass and beads hanging from them. She takes several more steps out and you catch yourself blushing for a quick second as this creature takes several more strides out of the water, and she is like stretched, like long, like everything is elongated. And you notice she's not wearing any clothes, but her hair covers everything perfectly. A kind smile once again kind of greets you with these big lips, and with like two long strides of her legs, she's standing in front of you, standing several inches above yours even, and you find yourself having to like look up towards her for the first time, having to look up towards somebody. And these long fingers reach out, and she places them along your face. Hello, Axel. And you look deeply into her eyes, and they are dark black, but eerily as you continue to stare in them, it's almost like the insides of her eyes are swirling, like there's something else beyond even that. We have waited eagerly for this moment. And she takes another step forward and pulls you into a small hug, and you feel a hand reach up, and she kind of scratches behind your ear. I am Inari. I've been waiting a long time to talk to you. She takes several steps back and sits modestly on this like big log and just kind of sits like side saddle and places her hand in her lap, takes the one hand off and taps the log next to her.
I will, still sort of on guard, on a little bit of alert, I will very tepidly step over and sit on the far edge of the log.
Okay. She giggles, kind of smiles. You know, for somebody who calls himself the Sage of Swords, you're quite timid. I'm not gonna bite.
Call it what you want. I take my own safety very seriously.
Fair enough. It's so very, very good to meet you. You know, we don't get to meet many of your kind, and she hasn't exactly shared you much with me. And I've gotten to watch from very far away. You are very brave indeed. You've gone through so much. So, I have to ask, do you comb your hair regularly, or is it just kind of an everyday grooming type thing?
Thrown very for a loop by her question. He sort of like doubles back for a moment, says, I try to keep it in check. Not every day, but I'd like to think I'm diligent about it.
Oh. You know, my hair gets the same way if I don't wash it at least once or twice a day. It just kind of gets unruly, and the next thing I know, can I pet it once?
He is.
And before you answer, she's already kind of like, you feel like the two fingers on the like right back here, and she's just kind of like, oh, that's so soft.
He
I'm
almost
sorry.
he almost goes to fight it for a moment, but then he looks at her again, and since she bears such a strong resemblance to Nova, he ultimately doesn't.
She only strokes like 4 or 5 times, then she catches herself and stops and kind of sits back. Well, like I said, am an Ari. I live here. I keep tabs on Nova from afar and protect her when need be. And you protect her out there.
Sort of instantly goes on guard again. I think I'm doing a good enough job of fulfilling both ends of the situation.
I would very much agree, and I would say that I appreciate that. So, how far do you plan on traveling? Are you going to go all the way home, or are you going to do more of this just kind of prancing about type deal? Do you have any plans for the end game? Are you guys going to start a business, or are you just going to keep roaming around? It gets boring in here. I need whatever gossip I can get.
Nova's desires are my desires.
Nova's desires are lame and boring. You should spice it up. I say you head north. I've never seen anything in the tundra. Or you head really, really far south and see how far into the desert we can go. Or I heard the Shattered Vale is quite pretty. The runes I've heard hold such great mystery and wonder. Or we could head to the east and we could get a ship and we could head off into the sea and see what else there is for us to look for. I think that would be quite nice. Do you feel like I could have a locket of your hair to tie in my hair? Kind of like a trinket. I could add it right here.
He will very slowly pluck a tuft of his fur and hand it to her.
She takes a moment. She plucks several strands of her hair off and ties it around the fur and makes like within like several moments like a little bead hangs from it, and she makes almost like a little rabbit's foot out of it, and she ties it up on one of the antlers. Very nice. Thank you.
Axel just signed a contract.
He did. Quite nice in here. Do you have any family? Any Well, no, that's a rude question. I shouldn't ask that.
You said you've met some of my kind before. If you did, then you should know that we're all technically family.
I've only met your kind through others. Never personally. Never personally. Your minds are intriguing and sad. Your hunger is a curse and a blessing all in one. For those of you that can control it. Sad for those that cannot.
I've never interacted with a spirit such as you before.
Understandable.
You seem a bit more mirthful than I imagined.
I've been around for a little while and protected my dear Nova. She's Very
Frowns
dear to
again.
me. You do a very good job. I just cover more of the, how would you call it, the back end? You handle everything else.
I'm no stranger to defending myself against mental attacks. I've done it my entire life.
That I do not doubt, and that I have seen. But not the kind of mental attack she's used to. And I... Would you like to see?
See what?
What she went through.
He nods.
She takes her finger and places it directly in between your eyebrows, and a small light kind of appears, and you feel yourself out of body being pulled. And you're thrown out, up, around, and you find yourself hovering over a thick, lush, like jungle landscape, and this cluster, almost like a small village tucked away somewhere on the edge of the Shattered Vale. In the Shattered Vale, you're not certain. It's definitely a gray area, and right in between that borderline of where it probably shouldn't be but is. And you find yourself floating down towards this village as you begin to see kind of the memories and everything being pulled into your mind. And this is where I will let Nova take over and kind of explain what you see.
All right. So you're dropped into what looks like a quaint rural village, which rests against that backdrop of the Shattered Vale. There's the vibrant foliage of the vale that's kind of peeking over the rooftops of each of the buildings, and the air is noticeable, just the fragrant energy within it. From what you remember, Nova, of the brief moments she's described, Bira, this is what materializes in front of you. You become immediately aware of this peculiar stillness in the village. And despite there being numerous individuals, there is a complete lack of verbal communication that just hangs in the air. It almost causes an unease seeing this many people and no utterances of any kind. You find yourself seated in a group of children at the village center, forming a circle. The children remain motionless and silent, apart from their eyes, which kind of flit back and forth to one another. Each child shares the same physical attributes you recognize with Nova. The skin kind of almost translucent. There's a blue glow that's kind of emanating from beneath the surface, and that's kind of a faint hue of that same radiance is showing in their eyes. The children appear to be, I'd say, around the age of 8, but you aren't really certain, just taking it in that moment. And they are wearing just basic white tunics and brown leather pants, and their legs are folded as they're sitting on the ground. And you sit in place of Nova as one of these children, and you become aware of that you you are one of these children sitting here and are aware that you are seeing Nova's memories through her eyes. As you're sitting there, taking it in, a imposing individual, an individual with an imposing stature, walks into the center of these children gathered here, draped in a long black garment with a hood and what appears to be some kind of lace wrapping or obscuring its face. There are evidence of eyes beneath that lace wrapping, as you see kind of that faint blue glow, just like from the children, kind of peeking from behind the lace. The figure remains silent, only gazing briefly at each child for a moment before moving to the next. When its gaze comes to yours, or Nova's moving forward, a deep, raspy voice resonates in her mind, uttering, "Il Altus." A moment passes, and then you hear a response in your mind. Another voice, but a more gentle, feminine voice, one that you now recognize, which replies, "Sheshintal." The figure standing there then shifts its attention to the next child, likely engaged in the same activity. And again, through just your experiences of Inari previously, and through Nova's thoughts in this moment, you recognize that that voice is Inari's. Inari then explains, in your mind, this being is known as a seer, a venerable figure amongst the Hashalak and the people of your community. They possess the ability to peer into the very fabric of reality and understand the intricacies of our spiritual bond. She then adds, this marks the age when seers test to ensure our bond is harmonious, and there will be numerous tests in years to come. As the seer concludes its task, looking at each child, it then leaves the circle. Nova does not get up, being engrossed in Inari's explanations of this individual that had been standing here. She inadvertently overlooks one of the elders' signal to stand, and a sudden spike of pain that you yourself are able to feel pierces through the mind, prompting her to swiftly rise, bow in apology, and quickly regain her composure. She then joins the other children, following their lead. Inari cautions Nova about the utmost necessity of keeping their conversations a tightly guarded secret. Though Nova is uncertain about the reason for this initially, she soon discovers that the wishes of the Il Altus were meant to be both interpreted and felt, but not actually explained. Inari explains that their connection actually transcends these conventional boundaries, but is considered an anomaly nonetheless and would not be embraced. With Inari's guidance and support of her training, Nova begins to channel all of her extra attention into enhancing her ability to suppress probing and isolating specific segments of her mind with the goal of shielding these precious conversations from prying eyes. Suddenly, kind of as what happened before, where you got this shift in space and time, everything kind of twisting and changing, you get brief glimpses of Nova over a few years, just of tests and training, and what looks like a notably hushed and solitary adolescence. You're brought to the dawn of Nova's 18th birthday, and you recognize this just from her thoughts and her feelings in this moment. This was considered a monumentous day for most in her community, but it held a more significant challenge for Nova, as the contents of the trial were always veiled in mystery, ensuring that the results of the trial would be unsullied. Nova walks through the village, drawing attention of numerous inhabitants who watch as she ventures towards Hanad Galath, which is the Hall of Reflection. You hear those words in her mind. This building is nestled in the rear of the village and is a large onyx structure which is built partially into the mountainside. Nova has never set foot inside of this building and recognizes its sacred nature because only those who are summoned are permitted entry. Nova is accompanied by her mother, who you had not met in any memory before this, or even seen glimpses of her. But you hear the name Felinari in Nova's mind and recognize that this is who that woman is, her mother. So they're walking together. Neither of them are exchanging any form of communication, verbal or non. And Felinari walks with Nova to the onyx doors at this building before stopping. They simply glance at each other, and Felinari gives her an assured nod before Nova reaches her hand forward to open the door. Right before her hand touches the door, it creaks open, and before stepping inside, Nova hears Anari's voice resonating in her mind in a very firm and encouraging tone, saying, "Be resolute, my love." Nova, being frustrated by this impending trial approaching and still not knowing anything about it, asks Anari for the 7,000th time what to expect, and Anari, per usual, remains completely silent. Nova walks inside of the doors and they quickly close in her wake. And before her lies a vast circular chamber, bathed in shimmering illusions and illuminated solely by ancient glyphs spanning the space. 3 seers stand in formation opposite her, their presence commanding reverence. And the echoes of 3 distinct voices whisper in her mind, like distant echoes, urging her to draw near. She takes very measured steps forward and stops just in front of the central seer, who extends their hand, and she notes, as it does for the first time, the robe falls away and she sees flesh that resembles the darkness of midnight. At this point, Nova knows what's expected, seeing the seer extend its hand to her. So she very quickly partitions the recesses of her mind as Anari had guided her in the past, enclosing herself in a mental cocoon and only revealing what she deems permissible at that point. The seer extends its beckoning hand further, prompting her compliance, so she does, and it quickly grabs her hand, and its long fingers delicately begin tracing along the underside of her wrist, while the remaining 2 seers in the room draw near to the central one and place their hands on either shoulder. As Nova's eyes ascend to meet the seers, there's a tug that resonates in her mind, accompanied by a very profound glow now emanating from that seer's eyes. And these 3 voices from before return in her mind and are nonsensical this time. She can't make out what is being said. They are all uttering something at the same time. She, for a moment, can hear Anari's voice in the mix, but struggles to understand even what she is saying. And the chamber begins to shimmer with this otherworldly energy, and Nova finds herself transported into a surreal dreamscape where reality is warping and twisting, just as you had experienced when you came into this memory. There we go. Sorry, I had scrolled down. Nova is now confronted with illusions of her deepest fears and insecurities, which take the form of shadowy figures that whisper doubts in her mind and mirages of failures to come that play out before her. It's a form of mental assault in this part of the trial, and it's relentless, and she struggles to discern reality from illusion at this point. Inari's presence begins to surge within her, entwining in her consciousness and offering strength and clarity. So as through each step of this landscape and these doubts and these failures being whispered to her, she is encouraged and reassured and is able to confront these. This is shown to her as being a battle of willpower at this point. In an instant, the illusions fade and reality warps again, and she's transported into a realm filled with what looks like fractured memories and dreams. And she, in this moment, is encountering Inari's past existences, each one burdened with unresolved emotions and untold stories. Once again, Inari makes herself this beacon of stability to help Nova navigate the maze of her own history, which demands Nova to reconcile with Inari's past and remain virtuous through it, to accept and embrace every aspect of it. It is inherently a journey of introspection where the emotional turmoil threatens to overwhelm her at this point. But Inari remains there to keep her grounded, and her presence acts almost as like a balm, guiding Nova through this labyrinth of memories. And she feels their bond deepening through this shared journey. At this point, the reality twists again, just as it had done the prior two times. And Nova is now brought before a desolate landscape where the very fabric of reality seems to unravel. And Inari's voice echoes in her mind as a constant reminder of their shared strength and to just continue to persevere through these trials. As she stands within this forgotten realm, Inari suddenly changes and begins whispering these words of warning. Nova feels suddenly this imposing will threatening to completely take her over, and it begins to mute her connection with Inari. She hears those same three voices chanting in her mind as she grapples with this overwhelming sense of herself being segregated. Splinters of her thoughts and memories and conversations with Inari begin to thread into this space on full display. Within Nova's mind, Inari begins to shimmer with this radiant light, shattering this mental barrier that the seers had placed to contain Nova and impose their will, which is almost a form of a tangible display of their unbridled bond at this point. Nova, in that moment where Inari has seemed to have broken her free from this constraint, is now standing in this hall once again, weary. There's beads of sweat forming on her skin, and she peers up at the seer standing before her. She notices that the seers appear to be shaken and exchanging glances as they, from what Nova can tell, appear to have sensed or experienced something very unsettling. The central seer stares down at Nova, speaking audibly for the first time, which doesn't happen often in her community. And its voice is nothing like the disjointed whispers that she's used to hearing in her mind through these experiences. And the seer simply says 2 words: twin souls. The seer's voice is almost feminine and unexpectedly human sounding as it crosses her ears. And Nova almost even misses the words that she says, as all she can hear in that moment almost is Inari's voice thundering in her mind, delivering warning after warning. And as she's listening to these warnings and trying to comprehend what's going on, she's suddenly unable to move, as the seer to her left begins uttering an incantation. The central seer nods towards the seer to Nova's right, who swiftly disappears. And Nova, again confused and unable to figure out what is going on in this moment, what is happening, she sifts through her minds, attempting to unravel the nature of this condition where she is just unable to move. And the central seer speaks yet again. You are to be cleansed. Your bond is unstable, and Inari intends to assert her will over yours and attain full control. She has misguided you, and she will kill you. The seer says this with words that are resolute, and Nova's taken aback by these words, her eyes widening in shock at the ominous words that she just heard, which very quickly transforms into a potent ache deep in her soul and shifts into betrayal, mistrust, heartbreak. The seer projects these vivid images in Nova's mind of the cleansing ritual, something she had never experienced and only heard of before. And as she's watching these images play out before her, she sees the process and the severing of the bond between the spirits, which always leads to the demise of the vessel and the liberation of the quarry, who is now free at that moment to choose a new vessel. She sees images of those that she knew who had never come back from their trials, and the truth hits Nova so hard that it almost causes her to black out. And she thinks inwardly to Inari, this is why you wanted me to keep these secrets? Because you wouldn't be free to bend me to your will if they had found out? Is this why we're different? Because you're wrong? I had trusted you and you groomed me just to snuff me out as soon as you had the chance? And Nova in that moment can hear Inari coming through with a pained voice, but her voice is already smaller and more distant than before as Nova begins to wall her off. There's another blur that goes by, many moments, and you pick up glimpses of Nova being ushered to her mother, Felinari, who is still standing outside of the onyx structure. Felinari being instructed to have Nova cleansed, and the two of them walking back towards home, Nova being resigned to her fate at this point. And once they get home, it's a simple instruction of prepare yourself, get bathed, and we need to go. So Nova begins to ready herself to go to this cleansing ritual, and stands there for several moments and questions everything. Everything she's taught, everything that she has lived up to, everything she believed in was all for a fate that led to her demise, or all destiny that led to her demise, for the sake of another being to have control of her will. And Nova decides that this is not something she's willing to die for, something she doesn't believe in anymore, or doesn't trust in anymore. Why should she die for it? And she decides that rather than being cleansed and killed for someone she no longer trusts, she opens her bedroom window and flees into the Shattered Veil. Memories shift again, and there is what looks like to you maybe an entire year that goes by, traveling through the Shattered Veil, arriving at, and Ginge, I completely forgot to look at my map.
Are you talking Bellin?
No. 2 seconds.
And I will add.
Azalon.
Okay, and I will add one thing, Axel. Because you were there as well. One of the seer's voices, the female, is familiar. Listening in on the dream.
Thank you. I forgot that point. Okay, so Azalon. You see visions of a town, Azalon, which seems to be the first settlement or village that Nova has ever come into contact with, as she's never left Mira before. And she goes through several instances of social checks, not really understanding or knowing how to properly interact with normal folk. Who she calls, as you hear this word resonating in your mind multiple times throughout her journeys, she refers to nearly everyone she meets as fateless. And they meld and they change, and it's traveling to Azalon, and then you see visions of a place you are very familiar with, Belan. You've been there before, it's no question, we were just there. And you see Nova working as what she calls herself a fortune teller, learning this was her way in the world. Her aptitude and her training and her psionic abilities giving her this edge to use on people as a way of making a living. And you see a memory that you remember her sharing with you. You see this individual, and she had explained in great detail this Jonathan that had threatened her, taking her aside and forcing her to do this fortune telling, so to speak, on him, and refusing to pay her, even though he was of a noble standing and could easily afford it. This was just a slap in her face, but he threatened her, so she had no choice. So she used this as a way to get back at him, and instead of giving him what she wanted, giving him what he wanted, instead of her giving him what he wanted, she instead sifts through his mind and finds several things that could cause him a lot of harm in his seeking of increasing his status in his projects these memories to his guards that are accompanying him. And while having him asleep, instructs them that they are to make haste and deliver this news at his decision. And they don't question it because he made it clear in the beginning that they were not to intrude per Nova's request. Nova wasn't really sure what happened after that, because as soon as the guards left, that was when she fled Belan. Per the information she shared with you before, this is all very familiar. And you see flashes of images of her walking stupidly through the desert by herself, unguided, and a really brief blip of running into Diatrax, being chased, luckily being near some ancient ruins, and camping out there for a couple of days. And then it flashes to images of your face. But before all of this kind of fades out, something else pops in. She shows you memories of Anari standing in her grove. The one that looked exactly like the one you were standing in. Looked the same. And you see Patience sitting with Anari and having a conversation where Anari is scolding Patience for signing the contract and thanking her for looking out for everyone and being selfless, but also scolding her. And you note that she shares her name, but she doesn't share with Patience who she's connected with. And you hear her tell Patience to watch after her vessel. But you're unsure, based on Patience's reaction, if she even knows who that is. And once again, everything shifts and suddenly fades into this dark, shadowy, smoky mist. And Ginge, I'll let you take it away.
Yep.
Oh, I need a drink of water after that.
That was good.
That was amazing.
Oh my god, thank you.
This time, you don't find yourself waking up in the grove. You only hear it. And you feel the long hands and arms around your body, and a whisper in your ear. Watch out for her. And make a bigger pack. 2 is not a pack. I trust you. And you find yourself waking up with Nova kind of holding on to your wrist and your radial arm, kind of fixated out. Her eyes are kind of rolled back. She has the white glow, and suddenly she kind of snaps to at the same time that you open your eyes.
Well, first thing I'm gonna do is roll for 1 second.
Ooh. I actually did. Go ahead and roll, but I do have one thing to add here before.
I rolled really bad.
Okay. As you find yourself coming to, Axel, you are met with the same images that you had of Bira, this village, this town, Nova's mother's face, her father's face, the other children and
No, mother.
townspeople.
Just mother.
Oh no, mother. The other visions and pictures of the other townspeople, children, and whatnot. Suddenly, the vision flashes, and you find yourself standing in the middle of the vision, or the middle of the town again. Except for everything is on fire. People in dark hoods and cloaks are walking slowly through town, crossbows out, swords unsheathed, murdering everyone. You see people laying on the ground, gasping their last gasps. You see children being slaughtered before your eyes. You watch as mothers are cut down in front of each other. And you look over to see Nova's mother face down, head tilted off, and motionless.
When is he seeing this memory?
Right now, as he's waking up.
Oh, so this isn't part of mine? Okay.
You'll see.
Okay, good.
And you look into the distance to see the three figures, cloaked, standing there, and they seem to be having a conversation. As this whatever unfolds, you find yourself waking up slowly, like I had just explained, with her kind of holding onto your radial, and as her eyes kind of flicker back into reality as she comes out of that trance stage, the exhaustion hits her face. And Nova, what you don't realize, and what Axel, what you see, are tears flowing out of Nova's eyes. Just streaks of tears. And that's where we'll end tonight.
God damn.
Damn! I took that long?
That was good.
Holy shit.
That was good.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, but
everybody.
it didn't seem like that long.
Yeah, I mean...
It didn't until I looked up and I was like, oh shit, she's been going.
I was like, this is so good. I need to figure out what happens.
So, next week, we'll find out why and what is happening.
I don't know, I'm crying?
You don't realize you're crying.
Oh, interesting.
Like an extreme sadness overtakes you.
But I don't know why.
Not yet.
Oh. What am I...
Well,
Please join us next week, Wednesday, as it will be... Is it our last Wednesday? It is. It is our last Wednesday before I'm off for 2-3 weeks. I'm going to Hawaii.
Come on,
So-
you
Going to
got
Hawaii?
another
What the
30 minutes in you? Come on.
I'm out.
No! You got another 30
So-
minutes in you?
Well, we got next week Wednesday.
It's
I gotta
not
work.
even 11 o'clock, bro.
Exactly. I work early.
What the fuck?
But
Man,
Yeah,
I remember in
for me.
2023 when we used to go till 12 a.m. What the fuck?
I know.
I
Now it's
know.
before I got promoted and had to like deal with grown children. But I promise
they grown?
next week Wednesday we will have a long session.
hell
Um,
yeah.
I'm sorry for the long ass story time, everybody.
Don't be. That was
Nova
epic.
lore dump.
Yeah, that was epic. So next week, Wednesday, will be kind of our little wrap up before I'm out for a little while. We have some awesome people that have volunteered before. We got Treble that's done some one shots. We got Strat that's did an awesome one shot that we never finished, or not one shot. That was like a little campaign. That's a mini campaign we never got to finish.
And how many sessions did we do with that? It was
Two.
like,
Two?
yeah, okay.
I
think we
mean,
got
Nova.
two.
At least two.
Yeah.
You guys got to the
We were fighting.
I don't. No.
And- no, we
because
got
you guys,
through
building.
everything.
We're in the building.
Yeah, you
with
guys got to
with the
the.
ghosts.
Yeah, it's the ghost bar. I can't remember what I named it, but
Yeah.
that was a cool setting. I like that.
So yeah, the music was dope.
Nova's
Fantasy,
inspiring
fantasy
as well.
Chicago in the 20s.
Yeah, it was
Nova what?
ghosts and something.
Oh, what was it? Yeah, what was it?
called?
Well, because I had there was like
No,
the
I-
name for the game, and
Was
then there
it
was the name
Ghosts
for
and
the
was it Ghosts and Speakeasies? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Spirits and
Spirits and
Speakeasies.
Speakeasies.
Spirits and Speakeasies. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was it.
I knew it wasn't a G. I was like, I don't think it's Ghost.
What was that, Nova?
Well, I was gonna say other Nova. So War is like an aspiring DM over here, maybe, because like, damn,
Oh,
Actually,
So
actually, I have a. Okay, well, I mean, we can end the stream now, but I can tell you guys about it later.
Oh, here, I'll
uh,
all right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks
Bye.
for joining us. We will see you next week, Wednesday,
Next
8:30
week.
Central. Until then, be
Nighty-night.
safe, be kind, and we'll see you next time.
Night, night.
Bye bye. See you at the table.